My friends, here we are with new Saga episode 123. This was episode number 3, and this show continues to be a guilty pleasure. And you might feel the exact same way, but I am having such a good time watching this show. And I genuinely like Kyle as the main character. Now, is it your natural slop of he gets reincarnated or he time travels or, you know, he gets whatever? Yes, it is. But in the reality is we get a lot of reincarnated and a lot of like isekai or summoned to another world. And this is time travel, right? We have a character who goes back in time. Now, this specific kind of, I don't know if it's a genre, but like this theme of time travel is often not investigated, but it's often story told. It's often visited in like villainous anime, like, you know, some girl is abused or she gets killed or she dies in an accident and then she goes back in time and gets a second chance. It's not too often seen in fantasy settings. It does happen. It is frequent, but in comparison to it's a lot less. So definitely a guilty pleasure anime. Now, do I think that Sidonia, which is the sword, should be a lowly girl? And do I think that they should be over exploring her in more words than less? No. Does it bother me? No, not whatever. Because at the end of the day, they did the very anime thing of like, she's 2,000 years old, but she looks 12. It's totally fine. Is what it is. You know what I mean? Does he get with the sword? Who knows? You know? But one of the things this episode did was, and when this was happening, right, him and Urza, which is the elf girl, they were doing their, you know, they were she was bathing in moonlight, as she said. And under the moonlight, they could finally go in and do their ritual where, you know, he can't speak evil about her name or, you know, have ill intentions. And she gives us the 1-2 punch. She gives us the history lesson that this ritual is typically done for folks, you know, sharing their true names with each other because they're entering into like a contractual marriage. And in his past life, he did this with Urza, but in his past life, they were, one, much older, but then two, they were in love with each other. So, you know, she told him that part of the ritual, you know, in the past, she told him part of the ritual was they had to consummate the contract with the kiss. Well, that's not true. That's only done in a marriage setting. So basically, they were married in their past life, at least from her point of view, because, you know, Kyle, once again, he reenacted and redid that. And I mean, they're basically low key under the table married now. And obviously that had implications. It was really funny and it was enjoyable and it was cute. And basically she huffed and puffed, you know, the next day because Kyle kind of like went out of turn. He got scorched a little bit, which I thought was really funny. I also like 𝐒𝐿𝐴, which is the red hair girl. As they were resting and sleeping, she was talking in her sleep about how nobody can have Kyle, which I thought was funny. So, you know, now he's got this interesting thing going on to where he'll potentially have this princess because they showed us next week's episode that he's going to go and save the princess. And because she died in his original timeline, he's going to save her here. And that's going to kind of jet set or like take off his hero work by going and saving such an important person in this timeline. But right as of right now, unless any others get added, he has 𝐒𝐿𝐴, which was his childhood, you know, best friend crush, who he's also kissed already. He has Urza, which he just consummated this episode. And then I guess as a third, he technically has his sword, Sidonia. Who knows what kind of exploratory work he did in his past life. So I definitely love that from like a, you know, relationship standpoint. The other thing that I really enjoyed about the episode as well too is one, he got rich and he got all his riches and stuff. So that was all done and that is all set. But the other thing that I really enjoyed too is they get all set up with all of their new armor sets and, you know, he's able to spend a lot of money. He's able to ball out and everything, which I thought was really, really cool. So that was really enjoyable to see him like, you know, ball out and everything. We got a few of them in a few different scenes, which I thought and I really liked. And then as we got the history lesson with Sidonia and, you know, as he's kind of giving her like the his historical rundown and stuff, we were able to kind of see that they have like a multiverse thing going on here, because she kind of explains like there's not really a true way to go back in time as you understand it. It's more like there's branches of time, right? Like there's these branches of time, and you were on this path, but now you're all the way over here. So you've kind of like, your soul has transferred into one of these timelines, and then you took over the soul that was already living in this timeline. So it's like it's a branched path that he's returned to, which explains why he has the dragon crystal. But there's also one that exists in his current version of his old world. And then on top of that too, she talks about like soul conversion or something, to where like they were investigating like forbidden magic when 1,000 years ago, whenever she lived. But basically his soul and this soul have kind of like merged, and because his soul kind of like took over, his power has increased. And she said that they were like experimenting on babies and stuff, some crazy stuff, to try and like take someone's soul and like basically eat it, essentially, to make you more powerful. And that's a dumbed down version, but that's what they were trying to do. And that's what he successfully did through the dragon stone, which I thought was a pretty cool historical lesson, because it just helps world build the story and the world of the new saga a bit more. So yeah, overall, I'm loving the show. I think it's really entertaining. It's fun. It's funny. It's cute. It's adorable. And it looks like he will explore some relationships as well. So he won't completely be a virgin MC throughout the whole thing. And that's even more solidified because we know that in his past life, him and Urza, which is the elf girl again, they were a thing. Like they were a consummated, like that was a thing. So we know that he's not a puss boy, which is a good quality that maybe not everyone will like. Because my general thought of view is we either don't explore romance at all, or we go all the way in. We don't have that. The middle is where anime lives 90% of the time. So I love when it's either, hey, we just don't, there's not even like a subject matter that really comes up, or like we go all the way and like, yeah, they're going to have some relationships and stuff like that. So anyways, new saga, fantastic episode 3. Can't wait to see more. I'll see you guys next week for episode 4. Peace.